schools off to good starts. Key wins in their back pocket already. Missouri in another rivalry game knocked off Kansas a couple of weeks ago. Illinois has started league play at 1-1 in the Big Ten. Tomislav Ivicic will jump center against Josh Gray. And the latest edition of the bragging rights game is underway. Missouri point guard Anthony Robbins will have an interesting matchup with Kasper Yakachonis today, number 32 in white for Illinois. Here's Mark Mitchell, and he gets fouled by Ben Humrickhouse on the first possession. Mitchell is familiar with this rivalry. He's a Kansas City product who started his college career at Duke. I talked to him yesterday about Missouri-Kansas game, this game, and how it compares to Duke-Carolina. He said, I think the biggest difference is Duke-Carolina is so dead even over the years. And he said that's what really made the Kansas win so much more important, because we knew how lopsided that had become. Mitchell gives Mizzou 13.5 points and 5 boards a game. 1 of 2 from the line. Tomislav Ivicic in his first year, listed as a sophomore. There's international flavor. Ivicic is from Croatia. Yakachonis is from Lithuania. This is a very young Illinois team by age, but that international experience for Yakachonis and Ivicic had them playing with men growing up. Touched away as Robinson gets the steal for Mizzou, and Mitchell. Perkins back to Robinson. In and out. You feel, Fish, you feel the intensity in this building. Everybody on the edge of their seats. Every possession feels like an emotional swing.
Yeah, and what I see thus far is that both teams are a little tight. But right now it's a little chaotic, which plays to the advantage of the Missouri Tigers here early.
Here's that Missouri lines it up, and a foul on Tony Perkins, who has plenty of games against Illinois. He's an Iowa transfer, had some big games. In fact, his career high came against Illinois last season.
Yeah, he's going to be important in this game because he's a big physical guard, and Illinois is a very physical team. Rarely do you see the Tennessee Volunteers being thrown to the side, and you saw that in the last game with Illinois versus Tennessee.
I actually reported that foul to be on Mark Mitchell. We'll see if that stands or if that was a mistake. Yakachonis gives Illinois 16 points a game. This is an Illini team that's had the same starting 5 every game. Stolen by Perkins. 4 on 3 for Mizzou. Here's Tamar Bates with the finish. Missouri wants to run, Fish. They get 22 points a game off of turnovers, and they get 22 points a game in transition.
Yeah, we talked about this at the outset. It's about the turnovers, which Illinois has struggled from at times. If you're Illinois, you want to slow this game down a little bit.
Yakachonis shares it. Trey White trying to go over the 7-footer Gray. And Robinson pulls down the rebound, but picked up his dribble. Illinois, slow start. And Mitchell gets his first bucket of the game. Illini 1 for 3 from the floor. Yakachonis fouled. Where is Illinois at its best in the half court?
Well, we're seeing it in regards to the ball screens, and we'll talk about this as the game goes on. In the Wisconsin game, they set 93 ball screens, and so I think that Missouri's doing a nice job of defending the ball screen, because they're not only disrupting the ball screen at the point of attack, but they're also disrupting the screener. They're pushing them off of their block right now.
And they've run this screen all the way out to midcourt. Ivicic, size advantage on Bates. Ivicic giving him 14 and 10. His twin brother played at Kentucky last year. Now Big Z, Zvonimir, playing for John Calipari at Arkansas. And Tomislav got the better of the two in their matchup Thanksgiving in Kansas City. Mitchell, the Duke transfer. Guarded by Humrickhouse. Shot clock at 4. And he banks it in, and Mark Mitchell coming into his own here off of an 18-point game against Jacksonville State.
Yeah, that's where he's really good. His length, his mobility, downhill driver, but he's versatile.
Yakachonis right over the top of Bates. There's ice in his veins. He's got 5 consecutive 20-point games. One of the best freshmen in college basketball. Mitchell again. Hummerkraus played in this building for Evansville in Arch Madness last year, and he comes up with a huge block into the hands of Colin Boswell. Illini want to push it. And the step through rolls home for Trey White. The Illini fans, something to cheer about as this game's now tied.
Yeah, that's more of Illinois basketball right there. They're the stronger, more physical team, and right now they're imposing their will on the Missouri Tigers here early.
Orange on its feet here early on, and a Mizzou turnover? No, it'll stay with the Tigers off of Illinois. Time to catch our breath after a scintillating start. Missouri scored the first 5. Illinois has scored 7 out of the last 9. And we're tied early. Dennis Gates in Missouri tied early on with Illinois 7 apiece. What does Missouri do well defensively?
Well, this game will be determined to their ability to disrupt on the defensive end. We saw that in the Kansas game. Take a look here at Tony Perkins. He's going to shoot the gap against Ryland Griffin. That starts the denial. But keep your eye on Tamar Bates. He is a Missouri Tiger, and his eyes, just like a Tiger, laying in the weeds. O.J. Mayo doesn't come to the pass. They shoot out and then accelerate Tamar Bates with the finish. The Missouri Tigers actually do a phenomenal job of 22.4 points per game off of turnovers. That's how the game started. That's what will determine this game. We saw the response, though, by Illinois being more physical and bringing the physicality to the Tigers.
0 for 2 with a couple of turnovers. Dennis Gates in his first year at Missouri surprised Illinois 2 years ago on a bitter cold night. Came in and knocked off Illinois in his first bragging rights game. Illinois returned the favor in a blowout last year. They out-rebounded Missouri, and the Tigers did not shoot the ball well in that one. To your point about Missouri's defense, 5th in the country, 10.5 steals per game. Aiden Shaw's entered the game for Missouri, and Illinois counters with their sensational freshman Will Riley, 6'8" guard from Ontario, Canada. Robinson dumps it off, and the Tigers turn it over. Interesting talking with Brad Underwood about his team yesterday and their ability to retain possession and not turn it over. He said, why would we throw it 6 times a possession? I want a ball screen. I want to get a shot up. Limits their exposure, and a foul on the illegal screen. Tommy Ivisic. Top 25 for the 4th straight season. Underwood 3-4 against Missouri. 8 NCAA tournaments and 11 opportunities. He was at Stephen F. Austin. They went 4 for 4 getting to the postseason. Brief stop in Stillwater and then Illinois.
Yeah, he's done an outstanding job since 2019-20. Most wins in the Big Ten. His Elite 8 run knocked off by the eventual national champs last year. And I think they'll compete for another Big Ten title this year.
Strong take by Mitchell. Rebounded by Morez Johnson Jr. Yakachonis kicks it into the corner. Terry Booth able to find Johnson on the block. Bates tipped it off the back of the backboard and out of bounds. Well, Tamar Bates had a magnificent game and put his name in border war lore by going for 18 in the first half against Kansas. Here's Boswell.
Once again, offense pushed back to the half court. Let's see how they defend the ball screen. Here's an easy switch.
Yakachonis lets it fly. Got it at the end of the buzzer. This kid is sensational. 4 straight makes for the Illini. They've got their first lead thanks to an 8-0 run.
A lot of conversation about Dylan Harper, Ace Bailey in the Big Ten, but you have to keep your eyes off for Yakachonis. He's as good as any freshman in the Big Ten.
Mid-range for Bates is no good. Boswell downhill into Shaw, lost control of it. He's playing for FC Barcelona this time last year.
Well, this isn't bad defense by Mark Mitchell. I mean, He was a couple of feet behind the three-point line, but Jonas, a lot of times he uses his dribble just to gather versus attacking.
He's the first freshman in Illini history to have 5 consecutive 20-point games. Johnson on the glass. Strong move back up. Pierce take to the line for Missouri. Here's Trent Pierce. He can shoot it. And the Tigers have cooled off after a hot start. Mizzou has missed its last 4. Leaner, no good. And a foul on Gibbs Lawhorn.
Right now, the officials calling it pretty tight. That plays an advantage for Missouri. If this was a rugby match, right, I'd give the advantage to Illinois. And that's what Coach Dennis Gates talked about. He says, we know they're physical. We're going to use that against them. We're going to attack. And if we're attacking in the correct way, we should spend a lot of time at the free throw line.
Another one coming for Perkins. Coming up next, Kansas plays host to Brown at Allen Fieldhouse. Final game before the holiday break. Columbia, Missouri native DeJuan Harris playing in game number 151 for KU. Host of any active player.
Kansas Jayhawks will be ready. I like their response. Victory after losses at Missouri and Creighton. Coach Bill Self has his Jayhawks right where he wants them.
Here's Riley. Great example of what Underwood was talking about. Illinois' offense lives on the ball screens. No need to pass. That's not a big assist team. Good defense by Johnson. Mitchell cut off by Johnson. Trying to lob it inside to Shaw. Tigers sloppy. Riley passed up the pass, decided to launch it, and the freshman has his first bucket of the game.
Really impressive. Love the pass fake there to move the defense and allow himself to get that open three-point shot.
It's been 4 minutes since Missouri made a bucket. Shaw able to end that drought.
Really good. You mentioned the time since Missouri had made that basket. It's because Illinois stopped turning the basketball over. If this is a half-court game, it plays dividends to Illinois.
Jonas gets it back, and now Bates switched onto him. Very patient possession for the Illini this time. 3 good. Gibbs Lawhorn. Illini 7th in the country in three-point rate. 52% of their attempts come from behind the arc, and they've hit 4 out of 5 today. Illini fans on their feet. Near turnover for Shaw into Humrick House. Back-to-back buckets for Aiden Shaw.
Aiden Shaw, 6'9", 210-pound junior out of Overland Park, Kansas, has really stepped up to play. His versatility and his physicality inside have really helped the Missouri Tigers.
Four of Illinois' 6 makes have come from deep. Jonas off balance, going to the free throw line. It's a 4-point lead for Illinois. Illini 4 of 6 from deep here early on.
Yeah, the response has been simply sensational. It's interesting. He said the key is, Tom, let me teach you something here.
Right.
You have to make sure that you have a tight grip with both hands. That way, the person that you're holding up has a nice, sound foundation, and that's the key to victory.
Jonas has been the key to victory for Illinois, except for their last game Saturday against #1 Tennessee. Couple of turnovers late, didn't shoot the ball well at the free throw line, but he has been an impact first-year player for the Illini. Made his EuroLeague debut at 17. Talking to Brad Underwood about the experience that provides. He's like, listen, He's playing in a pro league. He was just second to the NBA in terms of the level of play in the EuroLeague. Illinois has turned it up. It's a 6-point lead for the Illini. Tamar Bates steps through and banks it in. This is a Mizzou team that dropped its opener to Memphis. That was part of a 20-game losing streak dating to last season, and what a turnaround for Dennis Gates. This team has now won 10 in a row.
Yeah, that loss looks a little bit different now that Memphis has went to the final game of the Maui tournament. And both teams are getting a lot more physical right now on both sides of the game.
Dennis Gates' win streak is the longest for Missouri since the 13-14 season, when they ended up a 2 seed in the NCAA tournament. Norfolk State still a 4-letter word in Tiger Country. Yakachonis on the bench. A late heave will not draw iron, and Illinois offense stagnant without their point guard.
So, Tom, give credit to Missouri because they have been changing defenses. The play before we went to the break, they actually went to a kind of a 1-3-1 amoeba zone. That time they were back in man-to-man, disrupting the young team of Illinois.
Jacob Cruz waits in the corner. He's a sharpshooter for Missouri. Robinson gives it up. Shaw can't quite get around Ivisic, and to Trey White. Humrickhouse lets it fly. Ivisic, no, but he draws a whistle and a push on the shot attempt. It's on Anthony Robinson the second.
Ben Humrickhouse, 3 of his last 14 from 3, and he comes out, but a guy who will find his confidence. A good shooter, Evansville transfer, shot around 40+% in the Missouri Valley Conference. Good pass.
Line look, and White reverses it in.
Tom, when we talked to Dennis Gates yesterday, who did he talk about? Kylan Boswell. He said he's dangerous. He makes Coach Dennis Gates in Missouri a little nervous because of the job that he did while he was at Arizona.
Champaign native went away to start his college career. Got much better shape coming into this season. And as he closed out on Robinson, he gets whistled for the foul.
Kylan Boswell, big body. They were trapping in the defense. I love the no-look pass. And give credit to Trey White actually moving without the basketball, making himself an available receiver. That's why he got the basket.
So here's Robinson at the free throw line. 83% from the line. A high free throw rate. Shoots 1 free throw for every 3 field goals attempted. The Missouri team as a squad gets to the line a ton. They lead the country in free throws made per game, second in the country in free throws attempted. On average, 30 trips to the free throw line per game for Mizzou. They get 21 points there.
Yeah, and they can beat you in multiple ways, right? They've had 8 different leading scorers thus far in the basketball season. So they can beat you with 2-pointers, as they did earlier, where they scored 98 points versus Cal, or they can beat you with 3s, where they've had double-digit 3s in the last couple of games.
Gray jumped out on Boswell, turns into a 5-on-4. Ivisic gets a high percentage look.
Boswell slowly but surely trying to take over this basketball game.
Illinois by 6. Gray hit a long 2 late in the game against Kansas. Here's Cruz from the corner. Off of Gray and back to Illinois.
Colin Boswell does a nice job. You see how there's a hard hedge? Now he's poised in patience. He sees Cruz trying to recover, which leaves Ivisic wide open for the easy basket.
Riley tees one up. And Cruz with the rebound. Jacob Cruz transferred in from UT Martin. He went 6 of 9 from deep last game. One of those 8 different leading scorers you mentioned. He had 19. Gray getting in the way of Boswell.
Ran into a brick wall, didn't he?
Yeah.
Josh Gray, 7 feet, 260.
Entered in from South Carolina. Hummerkaus from deep. And the block out for Robinson turns into a foul. And that's the second on the Missouri point guard.
Tom, right now, if you're the Missouri Tigers, you're feeling okay. And the reason why is because other than the first 3 or 4 minutes of this basketball game, it's been all Illinois tempo, all Illinois style. Missouri can beat you in different ways. It's a game of runs, as you mentioned at the outset. And so they still have to find a way, like on this inbound pass, how to trap, how to disrupt, how to get more turnovers.
Riley downhill.
Illinois has done an exceptional job of getting back in transition since that first 3 or 4 minutes. They're defending at a high level. They're communicating, using their body to make it hard for Missouri to get to the rim.
Another drought of 3+ minutes for Mizzou. They had a 4-minute drought earlier this half. Marquez Warwick transferred in from Northern Kentucky. Great score, gives it up, gets it back with 1 on the shot clock. Got it. Marquez Warwick 50% from deep. It's a Missouri team that leads the country in bench points, 45 points a game from their subs. Ivisic, no. Another offensive rebound. Illini +8 on the glass. And Morez Johnson cleaning up.
Yeah, Morez Johnson, 6'9", 255-pound freshman, is a guy who can live at the free throw line and off of the offensive glass.
Cruz gets a handoff from Gray. Now gets a screen from him. Got Riley on his hips. 15-footer, no good. Beautiful pass. And Johnson couldn't stop his feet. Timeout on the floor in St. Louis. Bragging rights on the line. Illini with a last 3 possessions. Illinois turned it over twice. Went 0 for 1 from the floor and 1 for 2 from the free throw line. And just missed a chance to upset the #1 team in the country. Yakachonis back on the field. What a scene that was in Champaign. Perkins gets it to go.
Big boy basketball. You talked about him earlier. The Iowa transfer, very familiar with Illinois. Had a career high against them, and now he's getting a little bit more comfortable. He snakes the screen. He doesn't shy away from the contact. He goes into the body of Ivisic and now has an opportunity for a three-point play the old-fashioned way.
And that is the second on Tomislav Ivisic. And so Ivisic will take a seat here at 6:52. And the Illini getting a lot smaller with the 6'9" Ben Hummerkaus sharing the post with the 6'9" Morez Johnson. Tony Perkins, an Indianapolis native. He's got a 3-point play. He was limited with a hamstring early in the season, and Missouri has now closed it within 2. Tigers last led when it was 7-5. Zone look for Mizzou. Here's Riley.
Switch back to that zone again. They don't want to allow Illinois to get comfortable.
Riley off the mark. Tigers can take the lead with a 3. Perkins all the way to the hoop, and a hammer from Tony Perkins. Mizzou has tied it up on a Tony Perkins slam, and now the black and gold clad fans on their feet. Boswell in and out. Illini have gone cold from deep.
That's a win for Missouri. They settled that time. They need to try to get it to the center of that zone.
Mitchell against Hummerkaus, and the help from Johnson turns into a foul.
You know,
Perkins always open.
Yeah, anytime it turns into a track meet, Tom, it's going to pay dividends to the Missouri Tigers. Tony Perkins getting out. Josh Gray, that big boy, 7 feet at 260 pounds, kind of allows him to have a free open lane.
Yeah,
well.
they opened the door for him. So Mitchell at the free throw line for Mizzou. left it short. Number 1 Tennessee highlights SEC Network action tomorrow. Chaz Lanier, undefeated Vols go against Middle Tennessee. First time Tennessee has been number 1 consecutive week since the 18-19 season. They're there for 4 straight weeks. Coverage begins 7 Eastern, 6 Central.
Rick Barnes seems to be like a nice bottle of wine, just gets better with time, Tom Hart.
What are you going to say with age? Used to be a screw cap.
I knew you were going to take that and run with it.
Timeout, Missouri. 5:48 to go in the first half in St. Louis. And as expected, a great bragging rights battle so far. And Allie, they have to pick their sides in this bragging rights rivalry. And our thoughts and prayers going out to the Hall family and Linda. We just finished V week as Linda battles breast cancer. Thoughts and prayers to them this holiday season. Taken away by Missouri. Mitchell has Warwick out front, keeps it himself. And that is a walk. A lot of families at this game, Fish. I saw a couple at the hotel today. Wife in Mizzou gear, husband in Illini gear.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to come together for the holidays, but this is just one day to kind of pick at each other depending on the alma mater.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that both fan bases look to every Christmas. The fact that both teams are so competitive this year makes it even better.
Illini in the top 25, nearly knocked off number 1 Tennessee. Here's Marquez Warwick with the steal. Illinois had that run. They hit 4 of 6 from 3. They were taking care of the basketball, but they have not been able to continue it. And Mitchell took a bump, and he's going to the line.
Big boy basketball. You know, 3 things you can do with the basketball: dribble, pass, and shoot. And Mark Mitchell dribbles like a point guard. He's confident. He's got tight handle, and he knows how to get to where he is and then use the window. A nice job of isolation and taking advantage of the mismatches by Coach Dennis Gates and the Tigers.
2 years he played for John Shire at Duke. On the ACC tournament, went to the Elite 8 last year. McDonald's All-America coming out of Bishop Miege in Kansas City, and then Sunrise Christian. He's got Missouri on a 9-0 run, and now they pick up 3/4 court. Feel like Boswell and Yakachonis welcome that kind of pressure. Gives them more of a runway. Zone's been effective for Missouri. Try to coerce White into a mid-range, and he pays it off. He's got a half dozen.
Look for the veterans of Illinois to continue to step up. Right now, Coach Brad Underwood has 3 freshmen in this basketball game, which is the reason why Missouri continues to switch defenses. They want to disrupt them, keep them off balance on the offensive end.
Last year, Illinois had 6 seniors in their rotation. This year, just 1. Their freshmen give them 34 points a game. That is 3rd among power conference teams. And Illinois with the takeaway. Boswell's got Gray on it.
Yeah, good mismatch. Let's see if he tries to go off the bounce.
Reverse is blocked by Gray. Johnson cleans it up. We're tied at 28.
Offensive glass. We talked about turnovers, ball screen, but the glass is always going to be huge when you face Coach Brad Underwood.
Perkins around the screen from Gray into Yakachonis. Got knocked off balance. Illini to push. 4-on-2. Boswell lobs. Oh, Johnson finishes it off. Illinois back in front. Boswell is suffocating Warwick. Gray says, I'll put it up. Didn't follow his shot. Illini have scored the last 6. White fouled by Warwick. Illinois started hot from deep. They've missed their last 6 now. So to the free throw line goes Trey White. And he knocks down the first. Illinois hanging in there. Thanks to being plus 10 on the glass. Another one coming for White. He's at 93% from the free throw line. Cashes in both.
Trey Wright's been a nice addition to transfer from Louisville. Really an emotional guy. I like him when he's aggressive. 23 in the Wisconsin game.
Mar Bates back on the floor for Missouri. Illinois showing zone. Where does Missouri want to go here?
Well, you want to try to get to the center, kind of that mid-post area, but Aiden Shaw's had some success on the block.
It was taken off the rim by Johnson, and I don't think it was going to go. It looked like it was going to fall off, but it's basket interference anyway.
Yeah, anytime it's still on that cylinder, going to be a goaltend, and obviously they would have a chance to look at it, but I don't think there'll be a change.
Maybe it would have gone. That ends in 8-0 Illinois run. Yakachonis hit a couple of threes early, turns it over now. Mitchell fouled on his way to the hoop.
It's an instant track meet. Anytime there's a change of possession, the Missouri Tigers want to get out and sprint and make sure they use their foot speed against the physicality of Illinois. And we've seen that physicality of Illinois on the glass, Tom. Already they are plus 10 on the glass, 7-1 on the offensive glass. That's the difference in this game.
Mitchell at the free throw line. This 59% from the line on the year. He's got one more coming. And this to tie it up with 2:04 to go in the first half. Got them both.
Mark Mitchell, so talented. You have to remember as a player, everyone's going to go at their own pace, their own time. He was the #7 transfer in the country going over to Missouri this year. Hit that big three to help them secure that Kansas victory. Huge addition for the Missouri Tigers.
Jake Davis on the floor for the first time for Illinois. Yakachonis trying to shed Perkins. And he turned it over again. Second straight turnover for Yakachonis, who turns it over 4 times a game, and then he does that. The rip from behind. Bates trying to chase him down. And a hard tumble will send Kasper Yakachonis to the free throw line for a pair. And we're tied up with Bates and Davis. Starting to feel like a rivalry game after that possession, huh?
Yeah, nice job of Terry Oglesby and Jeffrey Anderson getting in and making sure the cooler heads prevail. But I like the disruption on both ends. You mentioned Yakachonis. As soon as he got the ball stolen from him, he said, okay, is this how the game is? And there was a little kick in the back that time by Tamar Bates.
And so Brad Underwood is motioning to the officials right now. He saw the kick. Connected with the back of the head of Yakachonis, and the officials will go take a look and decide if that should be a flagrant. And the question they'll have to ask, if they see it, is whether or not that was intentional from Tamar Bates. Our crew tonight: Terry Oglesby, Jeffrey Anderson, and Owen Short.
Well, if you're an Illinois fan, I'm sure everyone's going to say it was intentional. Missouri fan, everyone's going to say it's not intentional. What I will say is that Tamar Bates does not have a reputation of doing anything like this. Let's take a look at it. No, I don't think it's intentional at all. It was where Boswell was actually picking up Yakachonis, and at the same time, you had Tamar Bates that was just trying to step over him. He wasn't looking down. I don't think it was intentional at all.
Jake Davis gave him a look like he stole a Secret Santa gift.
You're in that Christmas spirit today. I love that. Have you got your shopping done?
I'm going to start when I get home tonight. Is it too late?
Me as well, brother.
1:38 to play in the first half in St. Louis. Another look. It's Tamar Bates in the gold. And the officials taking a look at the interaction between Bates and Yakachonis, who was on the ground. They'll get that sorted. You mentioned reputation for Tamar Bates. Do you think that should go into how this is adjudicated?
Absolutely. I mean, you look at the next level. When Draymond Green does something like that, people question it. He's done it before. He's done it multiple times. You know, for Tamar Bates, I really just think he was lifting his leg up to try to go over Yakachonis, and at the same time, Boswell was helping Yakachonis off of the floor. I don't think it was intentional whatsoever.
This is a high-level crew, and we've had high-level play in this first half. There's not that much to sort out, but apparently a lot to discuss surrounding this play. I think if there wasn't any contact, that would have been a scenario. If Bates is standing over Yakachonis, where you say, hey, clean it up, don't stand over him, but just a warning. Owen Short will give us an explanation. Owen Short sharing with us that they deem that incidental contact.
And I think that's a nice job by the crew. As we said before, one fan base likes it, the other fan base does not. But I think they were spot on with the call.
Well, I know somebody in the building that was awfully concerned with that call, making sure they got it right. That's Tamar's daughter, Leilani. She's in the building tonight. Here's Yakachonis. Knocks down the first. Tamar was telling me at shoot around yesterday. He went back and looked at his playlist summary for the year, whether it's Spotify, Apple Music, whoever you use. He said, I had Drake at the top of my list. No surprise. He said, #2, Baby Shark. Double figures for Yakachonis, who's halfway to a 20-point game. He's had 5 straight of those. Bates took an errant shot from Riley. Shot clock at 7. Perkins lost it on the between the legs dribble. Now he heaves. And the freshman Riley with the rebound.
Outstanding job defensively aggressive and limited Missouri to 1 shot.
Back to Riley. No. Under a minute to play in the first half.
Offensive rebounds adding up now 8-1.
Another 3. Good. That ends a drought of 7 straight misses from deep. It's the first triple for Boswell. Illinois with a 5-point advantage. Warwick has a half step on Boswell, puts up an air ball. Illini looking to add to the lead. Shot clock off. 20 seconds left in the half. Six left. Now 4. Yakachonis tries to spin, goes nowhere. Off balance, air ball. Putback is good. They'll take a look, but Morez Johnson Jr. just beat the buzzer on an air ball from Yakachonis. And as of now, it's a 7-point Illinois lead.
Outstanding defense by Aiden Shaw, but even better offense. It's close, but I believe it's good as well.
Illini out rebounding Missouri 22-9. Look at the clock, and was it out of his hand? Clock said .1. They will also use the backboard light. If it stands, Illinois closes on a 15-4 run.
Oh, that's about as close as you can get.
Officials can see the backcourt light from this angle. Is his hand blocked by the rim, though?
It's still in his hand when that red light goes off. That's a pretty good angle.
A lot to sort out. It's taken them a while. They're looking at every angle there provided to determine if it was out of Johnson's hand or not.
Tom, from that last angle, I would say no basket. If we're going by that red light and trying to look at the time, boom, right there.
And that's what the officials use, the red light. They say no basket, and they wave it off. So it will be a 5-point Illinois lead over Missouri. Plenty to talk about back in the studio. Kevin Connors, John Crispin, and a guy's going to be calling a Fairleigh Dickinson game soon. My dear friend Seth Greenberg. Happy holidays to all of you in the studio. We'll be back for the second half in about 15 minutes. KC, all yours. Close on a 13-4 run, but to Illinois shooting, Yakachonis and company started 4 of 6 from 3. They've only made 1 of their last 9 from deep. Tomislav Jicic back on the floor. He's playing with 2 fouls. He's set for nearly the final 7 minutes of the half. Then a foul 90 feet from the bucket. Charge to Tony Perkins. And that is his 3rd.
What we just saw was Illinois doing something that they did in the Arkansas game when they were able to knock off the Razorbacks. They're using more of a drop protection in the ball screen to force the mid-range jump shot for Missouri.
Fish, you surprised Perkins stays in the game with his 3rd foul here less than a minute into the half?
No, down 5. This is such a huge game. You want to trust your veteran player.
Hit the line, I go after him. Bates gets beat off the dribble, then knocks it away from behind. They say it's off of Illinois. Same starting 5 for both sides on the floor to start the second half. Illinois double-figure turnovers. Missouri turns over its opponent 16 times per game on average. Mark Mitchell, game high 13. And Al Robinson. Oh, got an elbow, and that will be Robinson's 3rd.
Well, Anthony Robinson uses the right elbow, which connects with Colin Boswell's throat that time. And the officials not taking a look at it, deciding to continue to move forward.
Ripped away by Robinson, and then an immediate foul from Yakachonis.
Tom, that's exactly what we talked about, right? How to defend the ball screen. Remember, over 90 ball screens set versus Wisconsin, a lot set versus Tennessee as well. And what Missouri has done to keep them off guard, they've trapped the ball screen, they've switched the ball screen, and they've also used hard hedge and recovery against the ball screen to really try to disrupt Illinois' offense.
Gray comes off the floor for a moment. Here's Mitchell. Jicic on the glass. A near turnover again for the Illini. This is a really good Illinois team, but at times, especially in the backcourt, just a lack of focus and careless play. That's what happened in crunch time against #1 Tennessee. Yakachonis, no. Jicic with the dribble handoff, gets it back. He can shoot it from deep. Got it. And a tremendous shooting game against his brothers Vonimir in Arkansas from deep. Had 21 points in that game. Double-double with 21 and 10. And then Jicic commits his 3rd.
Tom, let's remember that was another way that Missouri was able to get back in the basketball game when he went out in foul trouble in the first half. Look at the ball screen here. This is a simple switch, but Jicic is not your average switch when he's a big guy. And then what does Missouri do? Mark Mitchell comes right back at him and says, we're going to try to get you put back on the sideline again into foul trouble.
So the rarely used Marcus Allen is at the free throw line for Missouri. He gives the Tigers just 10 minutes a game, but Dennis Gates liberal use of his bench. Coming up next, 8th-ranked Kansas plays host to Brown at Allen Fieldhouse. Final game for both teams for the holiday break. Rich Hollenberg and Debbie Antonelli on the call. Debbie was fired up to be at Allen Fieldhouse. Sent out pictures of her tour of their museum. And she mentioned that when they met with Bill Self yesterday, he told us that Kansas needs to play with more pace and get to the free throw line. Something they're looking to accomplish against Brown before conference play starts up.
Yeah, a couple of titles by Bill Self. This year, they should be healthy. Last 2 years, players weren't healthy. 1 year, Bill Self not involved. The year before, I'm anxious to see how they complete this season.
Big Peyton Marshall in the paint for Missouri as the Tigers go zone. And Gates reaches deeper into his bench with Allen and Marshall on the floor at the same time. And Allen nearly came up with a steal. It's Robinson who leads the way. Bates transition three. He was feeling it.
Yeah, Missouri's trying to increase the pace of this basketball game. The only way to do that is to get stops like they've been doing defensively.
Robinson threw his head back when Trey White made contact with him. And it's the third on Trey White. We were inching closer, Damian, to the triple overtime thriller between these two teams in '93. It seemed like everybody and their brother fouled out of that game. 7 players fouled out in that triple overtime game, including Missouri star Melvin Booker. And the Tigers wearing not Devin Booker's shoes today, they're wearing Melvin Booker's shoes. Turned away. Here's Boswell. A burst to the rim. He blew it. And Allen, though he made contact with the backboard, didn't get basket interference. Robinson on the other side can't finish. In the Christmas spirit, everybody giving away presents. And a technical foul. Dennis Gates came all the way out the court while the game was going on. Dennis Gates was 15 feet onto the playing surface with the ball in play. And the normally mild-mannered Missouri head coach, who came from Leonard Hamilton's coaching tree, is out of his mind upset with what he, I assume, deemed a no call in that previous play.
Well, we talked about the fact that Dennis Gates, or that Tamar Bates, it was uncharacteristic for him to try to hurt players. This is uncharacteristic for Dennis Gates. I've never seen him this irate, this upset. And the reason why he was upset, and he goes after Orange Short, and that's associate head coach Charlton Young trying to make sure that he keeps him from getting thrown out of the basketball game. But with that being said, he was deeply upset about protecting his players. He felt like that Robinson could potentially get hurt. He felt like if this game was out of hand, was allowed to be that physical, that one of his players could get hurt.
You cannot come on the floor. Yakachonis knocks them both down. Illinois equals its largest lead in the Illini with possession at point of interruption on the far baseline.
Missouri back into that zone, wanted to try to protect themselves. As you mentioned, keep Perkins and the rest of their team out of foul trouble.
I thought they had a foul on Peyton Marshall prior to the technical. 3 ball, no good. And then Marshall is held, and Morez Johnson commits his second. They did not report a foul on the 7-foot center for Missouri, big number 21, who grew up in St. Louis before playing his high school ball in the Atlanta area. A little chippy, huh?
Yeah, and frankly, for Dennis Gates in Missouri, they have no chance. We mentioned it in the first half. If this is a rugby match, it'll be a blowout. And so there was 2 reasons. One, to get the technical foul to try to get his team motivated, and to get more whistles as he's got it.
Well, they need something because they're just 1 for their last 9 from the floor. But Missouri gets 21 points a game from the free throw line. And Morez Johnson Jr. commits his 3rd.
So, Tom, when you are trying to soften up a defense, There's multiple ways you can do it. One, you have a big guy like Illinois used to have in Kofi Cockburn, and you throw it inside, get the entire team in foul trouble, which softens up the defense. Missouri, on the other hand, they use the dribble drive. And so for Coach Dennis Gates in Missouri, if they don't get calls when they're penetrating to the basket, then it really affects their entire offense. They're now getting a couple of those calls since the technical foul.
Tamar Bates, 6-year senior from Kansas City, started his career at Indiana, was originally committed to Shaka Smart at Texas, coming out of Piper High School. 6-point game, Missouri fans starting to rise. Yakachonis gives it up.
Yeah, they're trying to screen the zone, but they're not getting anybody at that high post area in the center of the zone, which is where they need to be.
Boswell behind the back, spin move, cut off, gets free, and it's still a block by Marshall, who recovered nicely. Tigers trying to push. Here's Perkins along the baseline. A bucket from Mizzou, and Tony Perkins.
He's been in these type of environments in the Big Ten. He experienced something you can't replicate.
The second bucket for Missouri over the last 9 minutes. Hummerkaus lets it fly. Bang! Ben Hummerkaus knocks down his first three.
And that's the response that you're looking for if you're Coach Brad Underwood.
Hummerkaus likes shooting in this building. Bates fouled on his three. Riley got him from behind. 7-point Illinois lead. A little bit of everything this afternoon in this bragging rights classic between the Tigers and Illini. 7 Eastern on the SEC Network and streaming live on the ESPN app. They get Middle Tennessee coming to Knoxville.
Well, the defense is something that you always have to deal with. Top 5 every season. Tennessee, and with Zakai Mayshak and Zakai Ziegler, they're right there again this year.
Free ball no good from the corner. Push ahead. Here's a big fella. 7-footer Peyton Marshall rumbles his 300 pounds, 94 feet for the slam. And a foul by Robinson in the corner. That is foul number 4 on the Missouri point guard.
Well, Tom, you mentioned it, and I always say that every big man, his left arm goes up. You saw him? Every big man should get one of those every single game.
I mean, yeah, he's 18 feet away. He's like, I'm not going to get this rebound anyway. I might as well leak out. What'd you call it? Cherry picking? What did you guys call it back in the day?
Cherry picking. Well, it depends on when you leave, Tom. You know, yeah, he was cherry picking that time. Big man's got to eat, though.
That's right. Led at overtime elite last year after starring at Cal High School in Marietta, Georgia, but he's a St. Louis native. Bates denial on the wing, and then the foul after the knockaway.
So this is easy.
To Marcus Allen.
This is really easy, but for young players at home, be able to feel the flow of the basketball game. Since that technical foul, the whistles have been blowing more. There's no right or wrong way to call the game. I think the officials are tightening the game up. But as a player, take that advantage, attack the basket, and allow them to draw the whistles. There you go again.
Good point. It's the first on Marshall. And we'll send Yakachonis to the free throw line. Well, Casper Yakachonis is just a freshman, but he is having an amazing start to his college career. 10 games in. He and Auburn's Janai Broom are the nation's leaders. They each have 3 games of 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists or more. 5 straight 20-point games for Yakachonis.
Well, you talk about a guy who's 50+% from the field, 55% from the 3, and 95% from the line. And this is a freshman, so-called freshman. To be that dominant this early in the season is outstanding.
He's got 14. Buddy, we might need to change our flight. Both teams will be in the bonus for the final 14.5.
No, we're not saying that.
I'm just bringing it up. Fair warning. Marshall left it short. Wide open, Will Riley.
Right pass, right play.
Shooting day for Illinois. Perkins went right into the defender, got the call. That is foul number 4 on Morez Johnson Jr.
Once again, players adapting, continuing to attack the rim. And the officials know that eventually guys are going to stop fouling. Now we'll see if either team goes back zone. We've seen both teams play a little bit of zone here today, but more than anything, you got to move your feet, get your hands out, and put your body in front of the guys that are penetrating the basketball.
I feel like there's 2 ways that they're going to stop fouling. They're either going to stop committing fouls, or they're going to foul out and just be on the bench, one way or another. But they are piling up for key players on both sides. And now Johnson takes a seat. Remember, Ivicic picked up his 3rd 2 minutes into this half.
Tony Perkins, big physical guard, 6'4", 200 pounds, Tom. All Big Ten second team. He was actually the 13th ranked transfer. And so both of these coaches, both Dennis Gates and Brad Underwood, building their teams in different ways. Some with youth, some with veterans, some with transfers.
Marshall gets a nice ovation.
This is an interesting matchup. Got Allen with a little bit more size on Yakachonis, and it disrupts.
Yeah, 6'7". And Yakachonis, another turnover. Talking with Brad Underwood and this Illinois staff, including Orlando Antigua, they said the international players have this experience that is second to none. But then the question is, while you've played in big moments and in big games, how does it translate to this stage? Marshall, baby hook, and Ivicic with the rebound.
Yeah, Peyton Marshall's got to get a little bit deeper.
Beautiful dump off. Boswell to Yakachonis.
Yeah, Missouri going into their depth a little bit, and Illinois taking advantage.
Bates got Humrickhouse in the air, couldn't finish. Marshall gets rejected. Here's Yakachonis.
Good pass.
Beautiful share. Gets Lawhorn, finishes it off, and the Illini faithful on their feet with a 7-point lead.
Oh, man.
I mentioned that 93 game. By the way, Allen playing with a shoe untied on the right foot. And 7 players fouled out of that game. We're on pace for that again today. No finish for Allen.
Illinois doing a fabulous job of keeping the Missouri Tigers out of the paint. Solid rim protection. Ivicic has a mismatch on Bates. If they can get him the basketball, here it is.
7-footer turnaround. Nope. And that's going to be a foul on Illinois as Perkins went to the floor. It's the first on Kylan Boswell. He played his high school ball at Centennial High School in Champaign. Lived in Urbana-Champaign through 8th grade, and then high school ball, and ended up going to Arizona Compass Prep before playing for Tommy Lloyd and the Wildcats. Well, teams in the bonus. Missouri shooting at the other end, and Tony Perkins. 4.5 assists per game for Perkins last year at Iowa. He is 4 for 5 from the line today.
Yeah, I think he represents what every college coach is trying to get. Somebody who has experience, right? Remember him helping lead the Hawkeyes to 3 NCAA tournament appearances and a Big Ten tournament title back in 2022. When you have a guy like that that's been through wars and battles, then he brings that type of culture to your basketball team, and a nice pickup for Coach Dennis Gates and the Missouri Tigers.
Yeah, Gates was talking about him yesterday. He said one of the things that really appealed to us is not just the fact that he's a playmaker, But we respect that Iowa coaching staff, and we know that he was coached hard while with the Hawkeyes. Here's Boswell. Step back 16-footer no. Rebounded by Allen, who's seeing extended run in the second half for Mizzou. Bates trying to make it happen. Got it.
Tough shot. You got to have a player who can just go get you a basket. Tamar Bates has been that guy for the Tigers.
At 18 in the first half, and the upset of #1 Kansas. Boswell, hesitation move. Pierce closed the gap, and it allowed Boswell to draw the foul.
Well, right now you're starting to see both teams figure out exactly how to get it done. Tamar Bates absorbs the contact, lays down, fade away, soft.
That guy better get with it. He's going to get busy in the next couple of days. Here's Kylan Boswell at the free throw line. He only has 4 points in this game, Damian Fishbeck. Man, has he impacted it in other ways.
Well, he's made timely baskets, timely plays. You can see he struggled from the field a little bit. What he brings is some of that same veteran leadership that we talked about that Tony Perkins brought to the game for Missouri.
He and the freshman Riley combined to go 2 for 15. Yakachonis knocks it away. Perkins regathers. Mitchell taking it strong to the hole, draws the foul. He's going to the line and trying to finish off a three-point play.
And for Ben Humrickhouse, you just have to keep your hands straight up. And we talked about what you do offensively when the game tightens up. But see, his hands went up after the fact, after the contact. They're down right there. Mark Mitchell takes advantage and goes up and through the contact. When the game's called tighter, put your hands straight up and allow that contact to come into your chest.
Tipped out by Pierce. Mitchell, second effort for the Tigers. And Mitchell draws another foul. This one on Boswell. It was called on the floor, no shot, but Mizzou is in the bonus and he'll go to the line. Dennis Gates' goal is 30 free throw attempts per game. That's what they average. This will be their 24th trip to the line.
And both teams doing such a nice job of shooting it from the free throw line today. Illinois 100% and Missouri 19 of 23 at 83%.
We visit with Mark after shoot around yesterday. He and Tamar Bates grew up playing together. They've been playing together since the 5th grade, play AAU ball together. They were high school rivals, though. Bishop Miege for Mitchell, Piper high school for Bates, but they missed out on going head to head because of COVID. 2-point Illinois lead. Yakachonis gets it back from Ivisic. High ball screen. Gibbs Lawhorn gets into the paint. That is a tough shot, and he got it.
Woo. Excellent defense, even better offense. Mitchell
wants it. Gets past Yakachonis into Ivisic. Foul, jam! Tony Perkins! 2-point game again.
Go get it, young fella.
Switch with Mitchell on Yakachonis now.
Yeah, the advantage, though, inside. Tony Perkins is fronting Ivisic. Tamar Bates down there helping the double team right now.
Late in the clock, layup short. Boswell gets it back, gets the whistle. That's on Trent Pierce.
Anytime you don't have a box out, that leaves a guy like Tony Perkins wide open to attack. Gibbs Longhorn missed that box out, something that has been happening on both sides. Illinois is actually dominating still on that glass. They're winning the battle 34-18. Those are extra possessions, and particularly on the offensive glass, they're +7 for the game.
Illinois was -5 on the glass in their loss to #1 Tennessee. One more coming for Kylan Boswell. He's up to scoring to 12 points a game over the last 7. Wishes them both 4-point Illinois lead.
I like going back to Mark Mitchell. He's had some success getting on that block. They're using ball screens big to big like we saw Michigan do with a couple of 7-footers earlier this week.
Bates working on Gibbs Lawhorn. Gathers again. Can't finish. Mitchell is there. Mark Mitchell's got 18. Missouri has closed the gap with 2 multiple times this half, but unable to lock it up.
Now Missouri goes back to that amoeba zone again, not allowing Illinois to get comfortable in any one offensive set.
Dump down for Ivisic. Wrap pass to White. What a look. Back to 4 for Illinois. Bates gets a screen from Mitchell. Trying to work on Trey White. Left-handed Bates into Ivisic. Got off balance.
Yeah, nice help that time by Ivisic, who's been playing about 9-10 minutes with that 3rd foul, doing a nice job of defending without fouling. Number 13 in White.
Great poise for a guy who's in his first year at Illinois. Blocked by Mitchell.
Stagnant right now on Missouri's side.
Pierce can't bail him out.
Yeah, they just allow Illinois off the hook that time. You've got to reverse sides of the floor, try to use the dribble drive.
Tigers 1 of 8 from 3. Ivisic, yes. Extends the Illini advantage.
Speaking of getting inside.
Well, that's a nice option. Marcus Allen takes it strong to the hoop. Bates with the steal. 2-on-1. Perkins. No on the putback, and Illinois survives another turnover. 16 turnovers for the Illini today.
I think fans wanted a foul call. I thought that was really good defense by Ivisic.
Well, half the building did. Offensive board, put back in. A trip to the line coming for Colin Boswell. The versatile Tomislav Ivisic showing what he can do.
Well, he has such good size and good vision. Trey White with the nice finish. And then this time, it's just big boy basketball. Puts from the 3-point line, and they're only shooting 12%, 1 of 8 from behind the 3-point line. And then Illinois is forcing them into tough twos.
Here's Colin Boswell. He's put his numbers together. He only had 3 points at the half. Getting it done from the free throw line.
Yeah, Boswell shows other point guards if you're not shooting it well from 3, and he's been struggling of late. But about 60 to 70% of his shots come from 2-point range, and he's still able to be dominant, getting to the free throw line, controlling the pace of the game, and distributing the basketball.
Illinois perfect from the free throw line today, 15 of 15. They haven't had a game where they finished at 100% from the line since March 10th, 2016.
Wow.
That was against Iowa in the Big Ten tournament, and they only went to the line 6 times in that game. Boswell nearly knocked it away. Robinson responded with the chicken wing. Here's Cruz. 3-point shooter takes it to the rack. Mitchell falls off the rim. Missouri having no luck at the rim.
Outstanding disruption by Illinois, just continuing to fight. And if you're Missouri, I've been saying it the entire basketball game, you have got to get this game going at a better pace.
Mismatch, Ivisic over Robinson. He's going to power him down, turns to Perkins, and he got it.
Dominant. This is Illinois type basketball. Go to the block, ball screens, beat you at the paint area.
Nearly turned over. Boswell stepped on the sideline.
Ivisic just takes his time. A nice job of not rushing it. A lot of times, guys actually rush it when they know that they have a mismatch. He was poised and patient.
They're going to toss a fan from the building. No hesitation. I haven't seen that in a while. And the Missouri fan asked to leave, and he's going to get out before the posse can get him. Jeff Anderson wasted no time. Turnover. I got kicked out of this game once. So
what'd you do, Tom?
I didn't sit down. Thought it was within my right as a ticket holder to stand as long as I wanted. Missouri with 10 points off of turnovers. Another quick whistle on this end. It's on Tamar Bates, his second. Oh, wait, speaking of Missouri's struggles, Illinois back to the free throw line where they are perfect. 16 of 16, but Missouri fish only 6 of 18 at the rim today.
Those tough twos, right?
Very tough.
That's looked at as the most difficult shot in college basketball from a percentage standpoint. I think what Orlando Antigua said, 65%.
That at the rim is one thing. They want to force teams into like 8-footers, which would be not where the arc is, but typically where the conference
that tough
logo
mid-range,
is.
right? Those tough twos. And the reason why they're missing at the rim is just, I think they're rushing it. And everybody knows they're going to the rim because they're struggling from behind the three-point line, as we mentioned earlier, at that 12%.
Double-digit lead is the largest of the day. Dennis Gates' team had a monster comeback against Cal in the SEC ACC Challenge a month ago. They have a double-digit comeback in them here. Bates gets it. Northwestern was down to Illinois by 10 late. They came back and won that game.
Missouri back to that zone, more of an amoeba zone, just guarding their area.
Yakachonis slices through the zone, gets it back, and he blows the bunny, and then commits the foul, and Missouri going back to the free throw line on the other end.
Yeah, as good as Yakachonis is, he's still a freshman, still learning, upset with himself after the basket was missed. Just rushed it like we said that Missouri's been doing, but what you don't want to do is get the foul afterwards, and he knows that.
Missouri 20 of 25 from the free throw line. Two of those Illinois free throws came after a Dennis Gates technical that made it a 42-34 Illinois lead.
Yet to see a lot of full court pressure from Missouri. That's what we saw in the comeback in the Cal game, and we now start to see it here.
Bates gambles. Boswell turns it up court.
So a 2-2-1 back to that 2-3 matchup zone.
Yakachonis, no. Then he goes right back to the three-point line. Pierce yanks it down, had a leaker out front with Bates, but couldn't get it to him. Cruz, transition three. Yes, sir! Jacob Cruz coming off a 19-point performance, makes it a one-possession game. Mizzou on a 7-0 run over the last minute. Missouri has cut it to 3. Tigers have not led this half. They've cut it to 2 points 3 different times, but unable to climb the mountain.
Tom, check this out from the miss. Illinois tries to stay on the basketball, and because of that, Missouri now has numbers on the other end. You've got to get back in defensive transition if you're Illinois. That's what I meant when I said you hadn't quite seen the pace. We're starting to see a little bit more of that pace from the Tigers now, Tom. Missouri
had missed 22 of their previous 30 field goal attempts, but back-to-back buckets for the Tigers. Kasper Yakachonis will set up the offense. That zone has eliminated Illinois' ball screens. Shot clock at 6. White backs it up. Three-pointer short. And Yakachonis on the back. Third on the freshman, Vilnius, Lithuania.
Give credit to Coach Gates and his staff. They've continued to keep Illinois off guard on the offensive end. Ivisic was dominating at point-blank range. They continue to throw the basketball inside. But since Missouri has gone to the zone, they've been dissuaded from going inside and began to settle from the perimeter.
One more coming for Bates in the bonus. Bowmania rolls out tomorrow. 2 more games. Chanticleer's hosts, and literally home game for Coastal Carolina. Coverage begins at 11 a.m. against UTSA. Then the famous Idaho Potato Bowl on blue turf in Boise, Northern Illinois. Takes on Fresno State. Both games on ESPN. 14 for Bates. Closest Missouri has been since 137 in the first half. Yakachonis playing with 3.
Illinois being passive right now. Missouri's going to continue to pressure until they attack the Tigers and make them pay.
Shot clock at 6. Hummerkaus with 4. Tried to drive, lost it across the sideline. Mizzou basketball down 1, 4:32 to play. 17th turnover of the game for Illinois. Brad Underwood told us yesterday it's simple. We've got to beat them on the glass, and we cannot turn the ball over.
Yeah, Tom, last year's Illinois team was 11th in NCAA experience. This year's team is 326th.
Pierce right down Kings Highway. It's an 11-0 Mizzou run, and the Tigers with the lead. Yakachonis to White. Off the glass and in! And Trey White going to the line for a 3-point chance. What a scene in St. Louis. Both fan bases on their feet with every possession. Yakachonis finds Trey White. He gets the foul and will go to the line as we come down. It could be a catapult for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and I believe this year's Missouri team is more like the team that you were talking about with Demoy Hodge and Kobe Brown. I mean, last year's team, they dealt with injuries. You see what Tanjay's doing at Wisconsin this year. You talk about Caleb Grill, who's still out for Missouri this year. A much different team, win or loss.
Illinois has turned it over 17 times today, and Ivisic with the foul on the drive. That is the 38th personal foul whistled in this game. Illinois' last game against #1 Tennessee featured 45 fouls.
Right now for Mark Mitchell, free throws not only important to try to tie this basketball game, but also so that Missouri has the ability to set up their pressure.
4th on Ivisic with 3:44 to play. Mitchell, not a great free throw shooter, has another one coming. Ivisic looking down to Brad Underwood. He's reminding him to box out on his free throw.
Yeah, Mitchell only 24% from the free throw line. Here's a big one.
On the season, 59%. Rebounded by Ivisic. 0 for 2 for Mark Mitchell with a chance to tie the game.
I like getting the basketball back inside to Ivisic, regardless of the zone.
Swing to Boswell. It's a half step on Bates. Push shot good. 13 for Colin Boswell. Illinois back left 4. Well, Ivisic and Johnson on the floor with 4 fouls and a whistle away from the ball. And you get a hold on Trey White, and that is now the 3rd Illini player on the floor currently with 4 personal fouls. And it sends Jacob Cruz to the free throw line. He's only been to the free throw line 5 times this season, 3 for 5. Cruz, grad student from UT Martin. This is his 4th college stop. North Florida, then Daytona State, then UT Martin. Poured in 19 points and 8 boards a game last year. He's married with his son, wife Carmen, and son JJ. And Cruz gets it done at the free throw line.
Now we have that pressure. If you're Illinois, you've got a balance between being judicious but also not being timid.
Illinois was sloppy at the end of the Tennessee game. Johnson off of Missouri. The last 3 possessions with a chance to knock off number 1. Yakachonis turned it over twice, missed a shot, and as a team, they went just 2 for 4 from the free throw line. Here's another look. Looked like that was off of Johnson. Yakachonis thought about it. He's got 16. And Perkins with the rebound.
Yakachonis settled that time. Ivisic had Tamar Bates on the block. They should have went inside, took advantage of that mismatch.
Perkins spins, hangs, hits!
Nice.
They're tied again. Yakachonis tries to dish it. Instead, Missouri gets on the floor after it. That's off of Bates. And we'll go back to Illinois. Emotions aren't just running high, they are boiling over in this one.
So let's take a look. Give credit, both teams going after it. And I know what Coach Dennis Gates and Missouri fans want. They felt like there was contact on Tamar Bates. I like the good no call. I don't feel like there was enough contact. I think the officials have been on it.
Tom Hart, Damian Fishback, what a fantastic holiday thrill this is. Missouri and Illinois always delivers. So does Yakachonis. 19 points for the Illinois freshman. He has 5 consecutive 20-point games. You said he settled with that last 3, but he showed just why. That's a high percentage. Look, 42% from deep for Kasparas Yakachonis.
Yeah, you can talk about a lot of freshmen, obviously, nationwide. Cooper Flagg in this league in the Big Ten, Dylan Harper, Ace Bailey. But Yakachonis has been one of the best out of all Big Ten. Derek Queen over at Maryland. Look at the fan bases, though. You talked about it earlier, Tom. One side going crazy, the other side, not so much.
2:03 to play. Possession arrow belongs to Illinois. Both teams in the double bonus. Missouri came into this game 5th in the country in scoring, nearly 89 points a game, but 70th in the country in opponent scoring. They prefer a high-scoring game. That's how they win their games. Meanwhile, Illinois scoring 84 a game. That's their highest since the '94 season. Missouri basketball come out of the timeout. Where do you want them to go?
For Missouri, they've had success at the rim, period. And they have not had success at behind the three-point line. So if you are Illinois, you know that they're going to attack the basket. Only 2 of 9 on the night. You've had success from Perkins penetrating and getting to the rim, as well as Martin Mitchell. Whatever they do, whether it's a ball screen, whether it's a dribble drive, I like them going towards the basket. But keep your eye on Cruz if that floor is spread to knock down a big 3.
Reminder, Kansas and Brown are underway in Lawrence. That game can be seen right now on ESPNU. We'll get you there as soon as we finish. James Naismith was 0 for 2 all time against Missouri as Kansas's head coach. 2 minutes to play in St. Louis. Here's Perkins into Yakachonis. Good recovery. Whoa, whoa! Pierce denied at the rim and a whistle.
A lot of ball, Tom.
That is the 5th of Morez Johnson Jr.
That's a lot of ball on that fly. Let's take another look. I like the way Pierce attacked the basket. Oh, that's tough, man. That's clean to me. He jumped straight up. In pickup ball, we're not even shooting for it.
Illinois will have some time to get his replacement in, and so Brad Underwood going to steal a timeout here. Remember, Visic playing with 4. Johnson fouls out. Half dozen points for the freshman from up in Riverdale, Illinois. And for Missouri, Trent Pierce goes to the free throw line. Last year in this game, he had a season-high 12 points, couple of steals and a block in Illinois' blowout win against Mizzou.
Yeah, he missed those 8 games last year with an illness. Late January all the way to February. Illinois is clapping. They're saying that the ball doesn't lie, Tom.
That's right. 0 for 2 from the line.
And here we go.
Missouri's missed 9 free throws. Illinois hasn't missed 1. Yakachonis guarded by Mitchell. They got length on the freshman point guard.
You got to get it to a Visic down there fighting with Perkins. You got to get him the basketball.
That's the mismatch. Yakachonis can't do it. Perkins just sitting on Visic.
Yeah, nice
shot.
Shot
Clock at 4. Boswell from the logo. Off the mark. Rebound into the hands of Cruz. Empty possession for Illinois. Perkins out to Bates for 3. Tied at 75. Five straight makes for Mizzou. At one point they trailed by 10. And a foul charged to Cruz on the Boswell drive.
Just about every basket that Missouri has gotten has been in transition. Perkins with the dribble drive. He's able to draw and then dish to Tamar Pates. You see all of the white jerseys. A difficult closeout that time by Visic, and Tamar Bates makes him pay the price.
So Colin Boswell to the free throw line, trying to keep Illinois perfect at the charity stripe. 19 for 19 as a team.
Both teams in the double bonus right now. If you're Illinois and I'm Brad Underwood, you tell your team just stop fouling. And we haven't seen it really from either team, but make Missouri take a tough 2.
2 for 2 from the line for Boswell. It is a perfect 21 of 21. The lead is 2 under a minute to play. Illinois had a 10-point lead with 6.5 minutes left. Perkins crossover into Visic. Yakachonis back to help out. And Dennis Gates uses a timeout.
Love
with
it.
49 seconds left in regulation and 22 on the shot clock.
Yeah, Tom, he realized just how close this basketball game is, right? You've got to keep the pressure on Illinois. The way to keep the pressure on Illinois is to make sure that you score here, whether it's a 2 or a 3. That's why he called that timeout. He saw that Tony Perkins was in trouble.
The 2-point Illinois lead. Both teams were in a bonus with 14 minutes to go in regulation.
Now, what that timeout does is it does give Brad Underwood and Illinois a chance to change it up a little bit if they wanted to come out in a zone because of the struggles from behind the 3-point line on the afternoon. But I doubt that. I imagine that Brad Underwood comes out, they have solid defense, and you make sure that you defend and limit the Missouri Tigers to 1 shot.
The last 3 games in this series have been blowouts either way. This one has delivered from start to finish. Missouri's got a 10-game win streak on the line. Illinois trying to get right. They've lost 2 out of 3, including a buzzer beater to #1 Tennessee 8 days ago. A whistle and a foul. Oh, pardon me, one foul went off out of bounds.
A fortunate whistle for the Missouri Tigers. They were confused on the out-of-bounds play. Tamar Bates was signaling to Jacob Cruz.
They want to take a look at this. Terry Oglesby just wants to make sure that was indeed off of Illinois. Either that or he wants to correct the clock. Yeah, that's what he'll do. Well, 22 seconds in the shot clock. Shot clock. It's not 6. They didn't get 6 off of it. All right. Close enough. Pierce off the inbounds. Fadeaway 3. No. And the foul after the charge to Illinois. You know, we talked to Dennis Gates yesterday, and he said, I'm not afraid to draw up a play for a guy who's not our first option, according to the stat sheet. At Cleveland State championship game, I drew an out-of-bounds play up for my 5-man, the worst shooter on the team, and he made the shot. That time, he drew one up for Pierce, who's a good three-point shooter, but certainly not the best scoring option on the floor.
Yeah, and Trey White was called for the hold going after that rebound.
White, if it's on him, it's his 5th. Watch the right side of your screen on this replay. Number 22 in White, locked up with Dylan Cruz, and it's indeed the 5th on White. Illinois will counter with Jake Davis. I'm a little surprised they don't look over that further and see if that was a hook and hold.
Sure.
He's the second Illinois player to foul out, joining Morez Johnson Jr. Cruz 2 for 2 from the free throw line. He is just 5 for 7 from the line this year.
So if Missouri makes this, if Jacob Cruz makes this shot, Illinois would have a chance to go 2 for 1. I doubt they do that. Brad Underwood's going to make sure that they just get a good look and a good possession here. But if I'm Missouri, I try to disrupt. Let's see if we can put some pressure on the Illini and turn them over.
40 seconds of play in regulation. Yakachonis guarded by Mitchell. 6'6" freshman point guard. Now Bates picks him up. Got a half step. Fadeaway over Mitchell. Good. Kasper's Yakachonis puts Illinois back in front. 29 seconds to play. His 6th straight 20-point game. Shot clock off. Perkins to the baseline. Out to Mitchell. Pump fake. Launches the 3. Off the mark. Rebound Illinois. And Colin Boswell will go to the free throw line and try to seal the deal.
Outstanding job defensively. That's the shot that you want Missouri to take. Yakachonis keeps that pivot foot down. Excellent footwork. And then good D. Give credit to Yakachonis. We remember Mark Mitchell made a huge 3 in the win over Kansas on the baseline. Yakachonis makes Mark Mitchell put it down on the floor, which allows him to miss.
3-point lead. (22 of 22 from the free throw line). What a run for Illinois to make it a 2-possession game. Missed it for the first time. 8 seconds to play. Now 5. Mitchell across midcourt. Cruz steps through with 1. Off the mark. Illinois survives. What a performance from 2 great teams this afternoon. And Illinois escapes with an 80-77 win over Missouri.
Outstanding